Family sequels took over the top spots at the box office last weekend. In first place, Despicable Me with earned $43 million. In second place, Grown Ups 2, that grossed $41 million. And Pacific Rim finished in third place with $37 million. Well, you got a lot of choices this weekend at the movies. Which films should you see? Here's Sean McBride, the movie guy, to tell us about this weekend's new releases.
Where am I?
You're dead. But you have skills that we want. So we'd like you to join the RIPD, the Rest in Peace Department.
RIPD is the supernatural police drama about two lawmen who protect the living from unruly souls that refuse to move on after they die. It's a wisecracking, silly monster adventure. Call it a low-rent Men in Black.
My name is Turbo. I just wanted to go a little faster.
Turbo is a mediocre family film, the story of a garden snail who dreams of speed. There's nothing wrong with this film, but there's nothing special either.
Frank, what are you doing here? I need you. Look, I'm retired, okay?
You haven't killed anybody in months.
The surprise hit Red gets a sequel. Red 2 is the further adventures of a group of retired but extremely dangerous CIA Black Ops agents. This time they're racing to find a portable nuclear device, but there's always time for a little comic banter.
That's not good.
November 1st, 1971, I'm sitting here with Carolyn Perrin, who, with her family, has been experiencing supernatural occurrences.
That means the best film out this week is the horror film The Conjuring. It's a legitimately scary tale of paranormal investigators who get in way over their heads when they try to figure out just what's haunting a secluded farmhouse. If you like scary movies, The Conjuring is the film to see this week.
We have to get out of here.
That's not gonna help.
This thing has latched itself to your family.
And that's what's new this week in the movies. I'm Sean McBride, the movie guy.
And Sean McBride, the movie guy, joins us via Skype to talk about the new movies opening this week. Hi, Sean.
How are you?
I'm doing good. Let's start with the comedy, with a couple of comedies, but this one, R.I.P.D. This is actually may not have been screened for the critics, and stars of Jeff Bridges, the dude.
Jeff Bridges, Ryan Reynolds, Mary Louise Parker. It's interesting that both Ryan Reynolds and Mary Louise Parker have two movies coming out this week. We'll get to Turbo and Red 2 in just a minute. That sort of tells you something. Because, I mean, well, Ryan Reynolds certainly is a big enough movie star that he would have enough clout to say, look, I'm not going to be promoting my movie against my own movie if the movie was worth promoting. So, but you're correct. I can't really tell you too much about R.I.P.D. That is the one that we didn't get to see this week. Turns out that in the there's this alternate type of a world, kind of like in Men in Black, except this time it's the souls of the dead who keep wanting to stay on Earth. So R.I.P.D., the Rest in Peace Department. Jeff Bridges and Ryan Reynolds play these police officers who have to go corral these souls and get them to move on to the next, the afterlife. Very much looks like it wants to be Men in Black done with supernatural or, you know, ghosts instead of aliens. Similar type of a vibe, but not screened for critics, so we can't tell you much more than that.
Turbo, the animation for this week, DreamWorks, it's about a slug and a snail, hence the name Turbo.
Yeah. You know, it's I'm sort of torn on Turbo. Ryan Reynolds plays a snail, and he dreams of being a race car driver, and his dream is to race at Indy 500. You know, obviously that's not really possible, but you know, he gets some nitrous oxide, and pretty soon he's a super speedy mollusk. There is nothing wrong with Turbo, but there's really not a whole lot that's right with it. It is kind of one of those mediocre animated films. It's big, it's bright, it has a very good voice cast. You know, like I said, Ryan Reynolds, Paul Giamatti, Michael Pena, Samuel L. Jackson. I mean, a really nice voice cast, and has some very fun moments here and there, but it just never grabbed me. I suspect this is a film that will keep the younger children happy, and the older ones and mom and dads may be checking out their cell phones.
Red 2, I'm pretty sure this movie is targeted towards my demographic here. Of course, this has a host of stars in it, and it's a action comedy thriller and a sequel.
Yeah, I mean, Red, the original Red, which stands for Retired and Extremely Dangerous, was kind of a surprise hit a few years ago. It's been playing a lot on TV lately. You may have also seen it there. Bruce Willis, you know, plays this retired CIA Black Ops agent, and he gets sucked back into the game. He just wants to get out and retire and live a life of peace. That doesn't happen. They get the whole team back together again this time, so it's Helen Mirren and it's John Malkovich in particular. This time they're going after a portable nuclear device. That doesn't really matter. It's all about the action and the comedy. And I think, you know, this is a pretty good cast of really accomplished actors. They do a great job chatting, getting the little comic quips. The only problem is it was kind of fun to see Helen Mirren and Bruce Willis doing that action stuff the first time, surprising fun. This time around, the surprise is worn off. Once again, not a bad film, but just not the great film that we'd hoped for.
The surprise of the week may be The Conjuring. This is a story of paranormal investigators who go help a family. Now, how many times has that movie been made? But this one's getting a pretty good look this week.
Yeah, exactly. And once again, another film based on true stories, which in Hollywood doesn't mean anything. But it's James Wan as the director. He's the guy that he started the Saw franchise, but more notably did Insidious last year, which I also thought was a fairly good horror film that sort of fell apart at the end. And I think he's got a good horror film here. It's interesting that he is trying to make more of an old school horror film, so it's all about long takes and building suspense and building tension, and then sure there are some quick cuts and some schlocky cliched scares every once in a while, but I thought this one was really quite scary. If you're a horror fan, this is one of the better horror films we've seen in a long time.
Yeah, I saw this marketed somewhere as being gore-free. I guess it's like gluten-free or something, but it may be a new genre of horror film. All right, Sean, thanks a lot. We appreciate it.
See you next week.
And we'll see all of you at a matinee.